Hello children, today I am going to tell you some more important features of inverse trigonometric functions, and we will also be solving some of the NCERT text questions. So the one basic and very important property of inverse function here is sine inverse of sine x can always be written as x, cos inverse of cos x can be written as x, and tan inverse of tan x can be written as x, and same goes to the remaining three inverse functions as well. And here in all these cases x denotes the angle. X will be angle, or what we say is theta. Now the second important property, that sine of, in the previous one inverse was outside and the trigonometric function was inside. Now here the trigonometric function is outside and inverse is inside. So in the second property, sine of sine inverse x is equal to x, cos of cos inverse x equal to x, tan of tan inverse x equal to x. Here x denotes the real number. Now we will be working on another important thing of trigonometric inverse trigonometric function, that is the conversion. I'll try to explain you that one inverse function can be converted into different inverse function and the value remains the same. So conversion of inverse trigonometric functions. So with the example of sine theta. So let us assume that x is equal to sine theta, so that I can write my theta can be written in inverse form as sine inverse x. Now using the property of sine theta, which we studied in our secondary classes, that if we make a right angle triangle, so sine theta means perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So here in this case x denotes the perpendicular and hypotenuse is the 1. So the denominator, so the base becomes here under root 1 minus x square. Now using this figure I can see that sine theta is equal to x, theta equal to sine inverse x. Now cos theta, for the same theta, cos theta is under root 1 minus x square upon 1, that is the same, and the theta can be written as cos inverse root 1 minus x square. Tan theta can be written as x upon under root 1 minus x square. So theta in tan inverse form can be written as tan inverse x upon under root 1 minus x square. Cot theta can be written as under root 1 minus x square upon x, and so that theta can be written as cot inverse under root 1 minus x square upon x. Cosec theta is equal to 1 upon x, so theta is equal to cosec inverse 1 upon x. Sec theta equal to 1 upon under root 1 minus x square, so it implies that theta the same is equal to sec inverse under root sec inverse 1 upon under root 1 minus x square. Now in all these cases we see that here in the figure theta is the same. So the same angle, for the same angle these all values are equal. So the same theta can be written as sine inverse x is equal to cos inverse root 1 minus x square, tan inverse x upon root 1 minus x square, cot inverse root 1 minus x square upon x, cosec inverse 1 upon x, sec inverse 1 upon under root 1 minus x square. So these are the same thing. Now I'll be taking questions from the textbook, and here I take exercise 2.1 question number 1. Here we need to prove that 3 of sine inverse x is equal to sine inverse 3x minus 4x cube. X belong to the domain closed interval minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. Now for that we assume RHS, and taking the right hand side we will come to left hand side. So RHS, let RHS I have taken here and I assume here. First I need to analyze in these questions if assuming x equal to any trigonometric function, is there any formula occurring. So here if I see there, if I take x equal to sine theta, so I will have it 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. So it is the formula of it is equal to sine 3 theta. So that I have tried taking x equal to sine theta, so that theta can be written as sine inverse x. Now the same RHS can be written as sine inverse of 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. That will give me sine inverse sine of 3 theta, which will give me 3 theta, since sine inverse of sine x is equal to x. Now the theta, I had assumed here x, sine theta was x, so that theta is equal to sine inverse x. So I replace it back 3 sine inverse x, hence I get the LHS. Hence I have proved this question. Now I have taken question number 4 of exercise 2.2. This is here. I have to prove 2 tan inverse half plus tan inverse 1 upon 7 equal to tan inverse 31 upon 17. Now children, these can be done in 2 ways. I have taken here the first method, and second I will be just explaining right now here. I have tried here, since on the RHS I have to get a single quantity, and on the left hand side I have 2 quantities to be added. So I take the left hand side. So left hand side I have taken, and I break it into 2 parts. 2 tan inverse half can be written as tan inverse half plus tan inverse half and plus tan inverse 1 by 7. So there I applied the formula tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy, and by applying I get this value, and on solving I get this comes to 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 4 plus tan inverse 1 by 7. So I get it tan inverse 4 by 3 and tan inverse 1 by 7, and again I apply the same formula that gives me tan inverse 4 by 3 plus 1 by 7 upon 1 minus 4 by 3 into 1 by 7. Now I'll advise you, if you have anything any denominator numerator cutting each other, don't cut it, because here the denominator will come same in the numerator and here also will come same, so it will be easy for you to cancel it out. Like in this question I have got the denominator 21 in the numerator in LCM, and also the denominator 21 in the denominator while taking the LCM, so we can easily cut. So it makes my calculation error free. So hence I get this RHS, that is tan inverse 31 upon 17, that is RHS, hence proved. Now the same question can be done. I'll just explain you right here only the second method, since we will be using here the formula 2 tan inverse x. 2 tan inverse x can be written as tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. So directly that formula we can use here. Now question number 9, that is tan inverse. We have to find here we need to simplify here. So that we have taken here tan inverse x upon under root a square minus x square. Here I need to assume x in such a way so that my denominator, from the denominator I can take from the square root part I can take the a outside, and that is only possible if I take x equal to a sine theta, so that if I convert it, sine theta becomes x upon a and theta is equal to sine inverse x upon a. So the same given can be written as tan inverse a sine theta under root a square minus a square sine square theta. This way I have taken out a from the square root side, and which is cancelling from numerator and denominator as well, and the inside becomes sine theta upon cos theta, which gives me tan inverse tan theta, and it will give me theta, and that theta was sine inverse x upon a. Now question number 13. this is 10 of half sine inverse 2x upon 1 plus x square plus cos inverse 1 minus y square upon 1 plus y square. I simply make it very simple. I keep it as 10 half outside, and inside the bracket, since I know the formula, 2 tan inverse x can be written as sine inverse 2x upon 1 plus x square, and 2 tan inverse y can be written as cos inverse 1 minus y square upon 1 plus y square. So using that formula, I have put the values here. This 2 is taken out and which goes cancelled, and here I am left with tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. Again applying the formula, I get this 10 of tan inverse of x plus y upon 1 minus x, which on simplification gives me x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Another kind of questions are find the value of x. So I have taken this kind of question as question number 15. Here you need to find the value of x. Here equation form is given, and from that you have to evaluate x. So this is tan inverse x minus 1 upon x minus 2 plus tan inverse x plus 1 upon x plus 2 equal to pi by 4. Again I apply the formula here, tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, applying that formula, and to this pi by 4 I can write here tan inverse 1. Now solving this part, and here again the same thing I was telling you, not to cut anything, so the denominator here are from the numerator and denominator part will cancel out each other. And after solving this, I get tan inverse at, since both the side it is tan inverse, so we can take it out, and the remaining part is 2x square minus 4 upon minus 3 equals to 1, and on solving it I get that x equal to plus minus 1 upon square root 2. Hence we have found the value of x. Now I take on to question number 16. It's quite different question. That is, find the value of the sine inverse of sine 2 pi by 3. Since I know the range of sine inverse is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2 close interval, so I need to be very careful while solving this question. So I write it as sine inverse. Since 2 pi by 3 can be written as pi minus pi by 3, so I have converted 2 pi by 3 into pi minus pi by 3, and I apply the formula here, sine pi minus theta, which gives me sine of pi by 3, and sine inverse of sine pi by 3 gives me pi by 3. Hence I reach to my answer that it is pi by 3, which is occurring in the interval, that principal value range of sine inverse function. Question number 18. Tan of sine inverse 3 by 5 plus cot inverse 3 by 2. Now, whenever you have been given sine inverse or cot inverse kind of thing, always convert them into the tan inverse form, so that you can apply the formula for tan inverse then after. So sine inverse 3 by 5, again using that right angle triangle property, can be written into tan inverse 3 by 4, and cot inverse 3 by 2 can be written as tan inverse 2 by 3. So the same changes to tan of tan inverse 3 by 4 plus tan inverse 2 by 3. Then again we apply the formula here, and applying the formula I get tan of tan inverse 9 plus 8 upon 12 minus 6, which gives me tan of tan inverse 17 upon 6. Hence the answer is 17 upon 6. And the last question here, question number 20. We have to evaluate, find the value here. This is sine of pi by 3 minus sine inverse minus half. Again sine it remains the same, and minus half. Since I apply the formula here, sine inverse of minus x equal to minus of sine inverse x, so that makes it plus sine inverse half. That gives me pi by 6, and sine of pi by 3 plus pi by 6, which gives me resultant sine of pi by 2, which gives me value equals to 1. So hope you have understood what I have tried to explain in the video today.